If I might, if Ambassador Mustafa is on the line, I want to turn to HERRO to ask a little bit about how you see. Good to see you. Such a pleasure to see you. It's been too long. I want to see you in person. But thanks for joining today. And I thought you could speak to Bulgaria has had a particular set of challenges on its energy portfolio over the years. It's of diversifying its sources and its supplies. It's been the heart of big debates on pipelines, on nuclear. Can you give us a little bit from your perspective of how you see the U.S. government is working with Bulgaria to contribute to energy security in Southeast Europe?
Yes, absolutely. Let me say thank you very much for hosting this. And it's such a treat to see you. Damon and I were in grad school together. So we go way back. So it's just wonderful to see him on the other end of this virtual conference. And thank you also to AmCham for hosting. This is a very important topic, and as it is for my colleagues in the region, and as you heard from Assistant Secretary Fannin, a top priority for the U.S. government. In Bulgaria, as you know, last year, 98% of the natural gas came from one source. This year, it's 90% because they were able to do some spot trades. In terms of nuclear fuel, it's 100% still reliant on one source. So we have set out with the Bulgarian government to make energy diversification the number one policy agenda. And the lesson learned for me this past year is coordination, follow the details, share best practices. And let me just address all three briefly. On coordination, you've heard a lot about regional integration. Truly, I cannot underline that enough. But it's also coordination internally. So again, here in Bulgaria, you've heard us talk about Alexandroupolis, the important milestone of Bulgaria booking capacity at Alexandroupolis. 2 weeks ago, I was with Ambassador Pyatt in Athens, where we were able to finalize that deal. And then the Greece-Bulgaria interconnector, which are extremely important to helping diversify the flow of gas. But it's not just that. It is about the nuclear energy plants. Bulgaria has a project to restart a plant, a second nuclear plant, which, if it goes forward, will cement Bulgaria's relationship to Russia for another 70 years. So we are working with the Bulgarian government on alternate sources, alternate plans, something that would be cheaper, would provide modern technology, and that would be economically more feasible. Then it's also looking at the coal plants and whether or not Bulgaria will decide to convert these into gas plants, what it will do with the Green Deal. And then, of course, there's Turkstream and the extension of Turkstream, which you all know that we oppose. So it's internal coordination, and then regionally, I have exchanges with Ambassador Pyatt daily on these issues. I think all of my colleagues can also say that we've all sort of become energy experts in our own way because of the importance that we all place on energy. So that's a little bit about the coordination. And then following the details is extremely important, because what we've learned is that it's one thing to commit to a new project or a new plan, but it's very different to see that all the ways through implementation and the final deal. And we have seen corrupt influencers try to delay deals, try to use front companies to get into the projects, and following the details, even as a U.S. government, as the Greek government, the Bulgarian government, is extremely important. And on IGB, this is a prime example where now that we have Alexandroupolis finalized, the next step is making sure that the IGB is finalized by the end of next year and that it's not delayed. But that will take all of the governments also focused on this commercial deal. And then sharing best practices is extremely important because these governments we think, can never coordinate enough. So on the Green Deal, as an example, Greece has fantastic experience in renewables, and it could share its ideas and its experiences with Bulgaria, as Bulgaria will be receiving a huge amount of money for the Green Deal, and renewables is still a new field for it. So this is where we think even greater coordination would be in the benefit of the two countries and of the region. So that's a little bit more about Bulgaria and our views. Back to you, Damon.
Thank you, Ambassador. Yes, HERRO and I, Ambassador Mustafa and I, went to school together. She was the best student at Princeton, and so Bulgaria is doing. It's fantastic for them to have you representing us